Where the Lonely Ones Roam by Glimmerglanger. Read by Exmanhater. The first snows fell early, coating the world in a carpet of white that didn't bother Catra as much as some of the others. It helped to have a fur coat. Some of the settlers packed up and moved off for the new building sites, disappearing through the pathways they'd carved into former Horde territory. Catra visited Scrap Heap and Restoration regularly, pleased with the status of the walls and the fortifications. They discovered pockets of Horde soldiers still hiding out, here and there as they went. Usually the poor sods just wanted food and a warm place to stay, though a few were full of rage and hatred. Catra dealt with them as quickly as she could, because someone had to handle the unpleasant jobs, and that had always been her, hadn't it? There was nearly 1.5 feet of snow on the ground the next time Adora appeared, alone except for Swiftwind, who deposited her in the middle of Haven in a rush of complaints about how much he hated the cold. "Hey, Adora," Catra said, leaning against a wall and watching Adora slide off the horse's back. "Catra," Adora said, smiling behind her hood. "It's good to see you." Catra hated the flush of warmth across her skin and through her chest. She snorted. "Are the High and Mighty and Bright Moon worried about us staging a midwinter attack?" she asked. "No," Adora said, her smile falling away. I've actually come to ask you to come for a meeting with Queen Angela." Catra narrowed her eyes. "I'm not sure what Angela and I have to discuss in a meeting." Adora winced just a little, rubbing at the back of her neck. "Well," she said, "I'm hoping that you'll be able to finish the treaty I've been working on." Catra brought Adora inside before she caught her death. There was still that sharp thrill down her spine at seeing Adora alive and unharmed. Adora looked fine, but that was only on the surface. Catra's memories all reminded her about how fleeting her good health could be. "So," she said, handing Adora a cup of the hot tea everyone in Haven had taken to drinking to keep out the chill. "A treaty, huh?" Adora nodded, curling her fingers around the cup. "I've been working on it since I left. I think it's fair." Catra frowned. "Fair to Bright Moon," she said. Adora took a drink. "Fair to everyone," she said. "How many people are living here now?" Catra shrugged. "Maybe 2,000, between all 3 settlements." Adora whistled. "That's amazing," she said, smiling at Catra like she meant it. Catra flushed hot and looked to the side. "Not really. People will go anywhere there's food." Adora reached out, touching Catra's arm, sending a shiver down her spine. Catra looked over at her, sucking in a little breath. Adora's eyes were soft and warm. "No," she said. "It is amazing. So, will you come back to Bright Moon with me? Sign this treaty? Protect all of this?" Catra narrowed her eyes, pushing aside the warmth in her stomach. "The princesses won't do anything to us." "Probably not," Adora said, shrugging. "But isn't it better to be official?" "Because their judgment is the only thing that can make us official?" Catra scoffed and jerked her hand back, standing abruptly. "They have no right." "That's not what I meant," Adora said, grabbing Catra's shoulder suddenly, and Catra spun, planning to push her back, to spit all the cutting words on her tongue. She found Adora incredibly close, tall and strong, clear-eyed. Adora still gripped her shoulder. Catra felt her fingers tighten, drawing Catra closer as Adora's eyes darkened. Catra's gaze dropped helplessly to Adora's mouth before jerking back up. Adora's other hand settled on her hip. "Catra," she said, softly into the space between them, and Catra shivered, putting her hands on Adora's arms, planning to push her away and just not. "Hey, Catra, did you know there's a Pegasus down there?" Scorpia demanded, choosing that moment to burst into the room. "Oh," she said. "Sorry, I should have knocked." She ducked back out of the room, but not before Catra had pulled away. "So," she said, keeping her face turned away from Adora. "A treaty, huh?" "Yeah," Adora said, her voice curiously thick. "Sure." Catra flexed her fingers in and out, trying to think clearly about the memory of Adora's hands on her. "Why not?"